Hello, this is Quick Skills, and today we're looking at Arcade Ranger, a free download when you purchase Xarcade's Arcade2TV-XR controller. If you have never heard of Xarcade, they are the makers of the Tank Stick, a controller that you can use to play retro games at home with an arcade quality experience. And so the XR takes all of the benefits that you have of owning a Tank Stick, but also uses Arcade Ranger to integrate the controller into a full VR experience and mixed reality experience. And so I have had the benefit of messing around with this already. So I'm going to show you some of the features that this device comes with. And if you are interested in purchasing one of these for yourself, go to the description of this video. I'm going to put a link that's going to take you right to Xarcade's website so that you can purchase one of these for yourself, but also give you a $10 off coupon that you can use when purchasing this device. Altogether, this took about 30 minutes to set up, and I did need a little bit of help sliding this into the metal frame. But once it's all set up, you'll be ready to go, and we'll be able to jump right into Arcade Ranger. So let's get started. So now that we have jumped into the game, this is what you're going to start off with. We are in total virtual reality. You can see I'm in this room. You're going to have these arcade cabinets in your room, but none of them are going to be working. What you're going to have to do is go into your game, connect your MetaQuest 3 to your computer, and you're going to drag and drop the ROMs that you already own into the appropriate ROM folder. But once you have everything set up, you can see I've already put Donkey Kong here. I've put Mortal Kombat over here. You have this little TV that plays an ad for the Xarcade. We have this elevator action on the Donkey King cabinet, and then we have Duplicate Dragon running Battletoads. And so this isn't actually the game. This is a cool little loader. I do have the music that plays turned off, but you can do little fun things like shoot a basketball. You can grab things off the wall. This isn't even the game. This is just kind of the loading screen. But from here, you can jump right into a game if you want to. But what a lot of people are wanting to use this for is going to be the mixed reality mode. So let's jump into that. All right, now that we're in mixed reality mode, what we're going to do is we're going to be able to mess with this room here, and we're going to change this Xarcade arcade stick into a cabinet of our choice so that we can play our games. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit select on this controller, and you can see things that we can do. So let's do a decorative object. We can put a little soda right here on the floor. We can put something up on the wall. Let's get a basketball hoop. Whoa, that is huge. We want to size that down a little bit. Put it right there. We now have a little basketball hoop, and that basketball hoop's going to be there, just like that one right there. So now, the one thing that people really wanted to see in mixed reality is we're going to hit select here. We're going to go to equipment object, and what we're going to do is we're going to add in an arcade stick. And so we have our arcade machine, I should say. So we have various different choices here, and there's not a right or wrong one that you may want to choose. This one here is kind of in line with this arcade stick, but what we're going to do is we want to do something fun. So let's do Arcade Classic Machine 1. Now it says if you have purchased the Xarcade, or select Xarcade mode to connect your physical cabinet and use it for gameplay. One thing I want to point out is that in settings, you're going to want to tinker with the control scheme here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go to key settings, and then on your actual physical controller, you have to go in and type in everything. So now we are ready to set up our controller. So let's go back. We're going to do our Xarcade build. And then it says you're going to put the left and the right stick right here. The Xarcade, there's actually two holes in it. And so we're going to drop this in right here. And one thing I want to tell you, I've done this a few times. If you stand right here and push player 1 and player 2, it messes the controller up. So what I recommend, this took a few tries, just stand back like this when you push for player 1 and player 2. And just like magic, you have the game set up. And now these Joy-Cons, you don't need to move them. They're fine where they are. You can use this to control the game. Now, when you look at this main menu here, when it says file folder, what it's doing is it's looking for ROMs that are saved on your MetaQuest 3. If you do not have any ROMs saved on your MetaQuest 3, you're going to have to go in and put the ROMs in yourself. And so what you want to do is connect your MetaQuest 3 to your computer, open up the folder that I'm going to show you here on this video. And if you don't have any cores saved to your MetaQuest 3, you're going to do download core, and that's going to put all these cores here for you. Now, for every file, so here we have PCSX Rearmed, that's PlayStation 1 games. So any PlayStation 1 games you have, you can drag and drop the ROM in there, and you can play that game here on your X Arcade. And so we do have some classic arcade quality games. So let's jump into Donkey Kong and let's see how that works. So here we have Donkey Kong, and if I step back a little bit, you can see I have the Wakanda arcade cabinet. There's Black Panther. We can see the arcade cabinet is here. It's not really here, of course. There's our soda cans. There's our basketball court up there. And as I'm up on this machine, I can push right here. So you can see that button being pressed is putting credits in. And so to push start, I'm pushing start here. And now we are playing Donkey Kong in mixed reality. Also, I was going to say, if you don't like those Joy-Cons just kind of hovering there, the X Arcade has these little clips that pull out underneath it, and you can just dangle them right there so they're not kind of in the way. They don't need to remain on the X Arcade. So I just have mine dangling here. There's two little clips that you can hang these on if you'd like. And that'll improve your experience. See if we can make it up to the top. Ooh. Looking good, Mario. Or Jumpman, I should say. And of course, I screw it up right there. Let's try one more time to make it up to the top. So one thing I want to mention is when you purchase your X Arcade, if you have any questions in setting it up or have any difficulties, you can leave me a comment in my video. I try to respond back to every message. Sometimes the questions are a little bit over my head, and I'll let you know that. But if it is something that I can figure out, I will let you know what's going on. A lot of times, it just takes a little bit of patience. The configuration for this device is a little challenging. And let's go ahead and exit out of this. Let's play a different game. So to switch games, we're just push start select, and then in this menu here, we can go through the ROMs that I've already put in here. So let's try elevator action. I've been wanting to try this in VR. So the goal of elevator action is you got to go into every single one of these red doors here, get the intel, and avoid getting taken out by these guys with the black hats. And you can tell I really like this game because I'm genuinely having a good time playing this. I want to get it all the way down to the bottom. I can usually do it in one life. Oh, no! And as I say that, I get taken out. So let's jump into a new game. Here we have MAME 2000. This is going to have a lot of the arcade style games. So let's try Mortal Kombat 3. So here we're putting in credits. We can push start and play the game. The sound is there. It's just turned down for some reason. So if I were to turn up the volume on my MetaQuest, I can hear the sound just fine. But it is turned down by default for some reason. But let's play some Mortal Kombat. One of the things is figuring out the control schemes. The button mapping isn't always going to be where you want it. But I do have the L1 or the L2 and the R2. L2 pulls up this menu, and you can change the configuration of your game if you're like, well, I want to replicate the Mortal Kombat that I remember. You can change your button mapping by pushing the R2 and then going into inputs and changing them one by one. And I'm not going to do that, but it is fairly easy to go in and change it. So that was Mortal Kombat 3. Let's try another game. All right, we're going to end mixed reality with Sunset Riders. This is one of my favorite games. And one thing I really haven't showcased is the button presses. And so if I kneel down here, you can actually see the buttons that I'm pushing on the screen, and they match the game that I'm playing. And so although you can't see my hand, you can see where the button presses are, and that is how I'm playing the game. It is so hard to describe the coolness of being able to put on your VR headset and in your room change the arcade cabinet into a video game like Sunset Riders. And you saw how many ROMs I had already loaded into this. I didn't take a lot of time to go through and customize my list of ROMs, but there are thousands upon thousands of games that you can set this up for and have a lot of fun playing retro games at home in mixed reality. But that is only one of some of the other features that Arcade Ranger has to offer. So what I want to show you next is I want to show you the feature called Sandbox Mode. And I think that Sandbox Mode in conjunction with mixed reality, you're going to have a lot of fun going through all of these settings. So let's go ahead and exit out of here. To exit out, I'm going to push select on this controller. We're going to look for this exit button here and go to lobby. All right, once you exit mixed reality, you're going to be back in this room right here. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to go into Sandbox Mode and we're going to host arcade. If you want to join someone else's arcade, if they have Arcade Ranger, you'll be able to jump into their arcade. Then we're going to start our own world. So you can see here I have 2 worlds that I've already saved. So let's just go into the default world number 1. And when it says scene arrangement, let's go ahead and put default so that way it populates things into the world for us automatically. And let's jump in by hitting confirm. So now our arcade has been populated for us. You can see here we have this cool little dining area, little DJ table. It looks like we're looking out a cliffside over here. We have some cool stuff. We have this statue, looks like a Terminator statue, little pizza stand. So we have Donkey King, Hubert. We have this little basketball game if you want to play basketball. It's just going to start like that, and it's real easy to play. You just grab it with your controller and you can throw it right into the basket. So I do like the physics there. Some other things that are put in there for you by default. So a lot of these things you can put in yourself. So we do have the music turned off right now, but there is music that comes loaded into the game. We have plenty of room to put things down. We go to equipment object. There's other games that we can place. We have this archery grid. We have a bowling machine. So let's check out this bowling. Look at this. We have plenty of room here. We can grab a ball, just roll it down. Oh, that's like the worst bowling roll ever. See if won't even let me grab another ball. Wow. Okay, let's try that again. You gotta roll it faster. Oh, that was so fast. I basically threw it. Hey, I got 9. So it's keeping my score right there. So we're playing a full game of bowling in VR right here. So that's pretty cool. And you saw that was just one of many little interactive things we can do. I think we have room for an axe throwing thing here. So let's see. I saw axe throwing on here. So throwing axe target. Oh, and I built one here, but there's one over here as well. So let's use this one. And all you're trying to do is get to the bullseye. Oh, that was a good one. Ooh, inner ring. See if we can get a bullseye. And the physics are really good. So we got a score of 20. Oh, and I think we have one more axe. So yeah, score of 26. I think that's it. So that's my high score for this machine. And so you're going to see all these arcade machines. What's really cool about this is you can go to any one of them, pick a game. So let's go over here. Let's do BattleToads. We're going to confirm. Let's turn on some sound so we can hear it. And when it says arcade mode on, when I push play now, it's going to take us out of this arcade. And you're going to see real quick what I mean. And what I have to do is put these into the holes, push start. And now I'm still in this arcade. I'm not holding the arcade sticks anymore. I could walk around. If I have room in my room, try not to hit anything. I'm actually physically walking in 3D space in my room, but I don't have as big of a room as this area is. But when I come back to this, so like I'm going to walk as far back as I can before I bump something.
Stomping time!
So I'm as far back as I can go in my room. I can physically walk to this BattleToads machine, and with my hands out, I can feel exactly where these buttons are going to be in that space. So I know that's kind of insane to think about, but in VR it makes a lot of sense. But here you can see I am now playing BattleToads in my virtual arcade. I could put a VR soda next to me. have it ready. But this is probably one of the coolest things that I like, because then when we're ready to exit out, so now that's just going to play. So over here under Pac M&M, let's put another game. Let's do Donkey Kong Jr. Turn up the sound. Arcade mode on. Do that. So now we have Donkey Kong playing. We're going to exit out of here. Now we have 2 games here. What's cool is that once you've spent the time going in and putting in a game in every single one of them, you don't have to do it again. So like, let's say this one we want Double Dragon here. We're going to put that one here. Boom, we have Double Dragon. We're going to exit out. Oh, so this one is Canine Combat. Let's just put in a Mortal Kombat here. All right, we're going to start Mortal Kombat here. And so we have Canine Combat loaded up with Mortal Kombat. That's really cool. And you can see there's a whole bunch of arcade cabinets. So I don't know if I've made clearly how cool this is. Like here we have Donkey King. Let's go ahead and put Donkey Kong here. And so you can see here now we have Donkey King playing Donkey Kong. And I do want to say that it is really cool to come in here in VR in your virtual arcade and configure your room to your taste and satisfaction. You have little things like bowling that just work all the time. You have the arcade cabinets that are going to require some configuration, but I hope you can see that it's pretty easy to go in and make those changes. I think the hardest thing for anyone buying this is going to be going in and putting in your ROMs. I might do a tutorial video on a separate video showing you how you can go in and put in the ROMs, but it should be as easy as connecting your MetaQuest 3 and dragging and dropping the ROM files that you own and putting them into your MetaQuest folder. And so if you have any questions, be sure to leave me a comment in this video. If you end up getting the X Arcade controller because of this video, let me know as well. That'd be really cool to know. But thank you so much for watching, guys. This is Quick Skills. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much again. You have a good day.